Greetings, this is Ukrainian Prism with our new format of video digest documenting the unwavering resistance of Ukrainians to the Russian onslaught and the war crimes committed by Russian occupiers. On April 28th, the Office of High Commissioner of United Nations for Human Rights confirms deaths of more than 2,700 civilians, and more than 3,000 of them were injured due to the Russian full-scale invasion. This is the data collected from February 24th to April 26th. However, the organization also emphasizes that the real figures are much higher, because the information from some places where the intense hostilities are still ongoing is not clear, and the reports with such information and data are delayed and still need to be confirmed. During the whole last week, artillery shellings and aviation strikes continued throughout the whole front line. Residential areas, especially in Kharkiv and Donetsk regions, are under special threat. Only during April 25th, Luhansk region was shelled 17 times. The geography of Russian strikes still encompasses the majority of Ukrainian territories and provides for increased danger both for humanitarian evacuation routes and for the civilians that are still in Ukrainian cities. Still, more information on Russian atrocities on the occupied territories are coming up. Alexei Gubov, the head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, said that Russian occupiers set up a special concentration camp on the premises of the plant in the city of Vovchansk. There, they tortured the prisoners, they forced them to cooperate with the occupation regime, and they forced them to join the Russian armed forces. In addition, the head of Lugansk Regional Military Administration, Sergei Haidai, said that Russian occupiers on the front lines used civilians for fighting with Ukrainian armed forces. In particular, there are cases when the occupiers used women from Ukrainian cities and Ukrainian villages to go to Ukrainian position for some kind of help, both material or informational, and they forced them to give up Ukrainian positions to the Russian forces. At the same time, the Russian occupiers are taking their children as hostages and threatening to kill them and their families if the women do not agree to such cooperation. However, the Russian aggression is not only about military or humanitarian crisis, it is also about the technological and ecological consequences for the whole world. The Russian Federation still exposes the whole world to the danger of a nuclear catastrophe. On April 25th, Energoatom, Ukrainian nuclear power plant manager, stated that once again 2 Russian cruise missiles passed at low altitude over the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Russia's nuclear terrorism, at its only can be called terrorism, is on the rise, and the threat is even growing. Petro Kotin, the top manager of Energoatom, stressed that 7 nuclear installations with a huge amount of nuclear materials are placed on the site of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and they are still in danger of Russian aggression. During the last week, Russian occupiers increased their activity in the southern region as well. In Kherson, Russian occupiers' forces are in a full-fledged preparation for the so-called referendum for the creation of Kherson People's Republic. However, the ongoing civil protest of Kherson citizens that is taking place nearly each day and the non-cooperation of civil servants of Kherson prevent the Russian occupiers from enacting their plans. In retaliation, Russian forces distort all sources of information for the inhabitants of Kherson and continue with the repression of civil activists and civil servants of Ukrainian city. Still, every day, the Russian occupiers are using methods that violate the rules of law. They attack civilian infrastructure, they are killing and injuring Ukrainian civilians, including children, elderly and women, and they take actions that can have regional and international consequences, both in military, economic, political and even ecological spheres. However, this will not be forgotten nor forgiven, and everyone involved will pay their price and feel the consequences for their criminal deeds. This project is implemented with the support of ICSSA Ednannia within the Sectoral Support for Civil Society initiative, implemented by Ednannia in consortium with the Ukrainian Center for Independent Political Research and the Center for Democracy and Rule of Law.